beautiful bookworm friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you my November wrap up. So in the month of November I only read 3 books. I normally read 4 every month, but this month was just crazy. I was so busy and I didn't even know where the month went. It just went gone. But I did read really good books this month. So the first book I read in the month of November was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. So this book follows a boy named Kel. He is an Antari or Antari, I don't really know how to say it, but he has the ability to travel between different parallel universes, and he is essentially one of the last people that can do this. And I just love the world building in this story, in this book. I just love how she describes the different Londons in this book. So there's white London and there's red London, there's grey and there's black, and each one has its own characteristics. They have their own languages as well, and I just thought that was really great and unique. I just found that really creative. Even though all the Londons are different, there's always a set or a place in those Londons that are similar. So there's always the tavern, even though it's called different names in each London, and then there's always the river as well. And I just love the characters as well. I love Kel. I want his coat. I just like the way V. Schwab writes. I feel that her characters are always complex. They're, you know, not just one-dimensional. They're very in-depth. Love her duos. I mean, I read This Savage Song recently as well, and I really love the characters there, and I love Kel and Lila too. I mean, in this one there's more chemistry between them and there's a chance of romance brewing, but I just love the fact that it's not the center of the book, because I mean, not every fantasy book has to have a love story in it. I'm really glad that I read this book. It was so good. The story is so uncomplicated. It was easy to follow and it's so uncluttered, yet it was so engaging. And yeah, I just love the magical system in this story as well. She's so clever. I mean, there's not very much originality, if that makes sense. I mean, books do have the same tropes, or they follow similar storylines, but this one I just felt like I've never read anything like it, and I just love that. The next book I read in the month of November was Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz, and I give this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really wanted to read this book because it follows a Filipino girl. I'm Filipino, enough said. Her name is Jasmine, and she just received a full scholarship, and when she goes and tells her parents about the good news, she finds out that they're actually undocumented immigrants in the USA. And of course everything changes in her life, and she has this, you know, worry of whether or not she's gonna have to go back to the Philippines and get deported and not be able to receive this full scholarship when she does want to go to university. And it's just really about finding who you are. I mean, she moved to the USA when she was very young, and so she is essentially an American. She's lived there all her life. I mean, she was born in the Philippines, but she grew up there. And you know, finding out that you don't actually have the right to stay in that country is life-changing, especially if that's the only culture or the only place you've ever known, and now, you know, you risk being deported to a country that, yes, you were born in, but you never know, and you don't have your friends there. I just love the message in this book. I think it's very relevant today, and in some ways I can relate to Jasmine. Not that I'm undocumented. I am a British citizen. I'm not as smart as Jasmine, but I understand her view of, you know, working hard at school because it's a way to repay your parents, and that is something that some of my friends don't understand. I mean, they keep saying, surely you do things for yourself, and yes, it's you know, I do things for myself, but it's also to repay the sacrifices that my parents have done for me to get to this point, or for me to have this opportunity. That's the thing about immigrants. They come to countries like USA or the UK because they want to have a better life. They want a better life for their families back home and for their children, not necessarily for themselves. And that's why I think that it's very wrong that most people would describe them or would put them along with criminals. So whenever we say illegal immigrants, we always think, oh, they're criminals, but they're not. Yes, they've broken the law, but they're not here to take drugs. They're not here to bring drugs or to commit any crimes. They're here to work, and most of the works that they take are work that most citizens of a country that they're in don't want to do. So they do the crappy work that nobody wants to do, and they work harder most of the time than the citizens in the country they're staying. So and that's for them to have to be able to send money to their families in their own country. Yeah, I really loved and enjoyed reading this book, especially recognizing the Filipino culture in this. It's funny to me, though I do find that some of the cultural references are not explained properly. I would have liked it to be more elaborated more, if that makes sense. And also the character herself, Jasmine, I just felt like she's too perfect, and everything was too convenient. Like, all the things that happened in her life was just conveniently made easy, as if the writer just did or wrote it that way so then the problem will be solved or something like that. So that's why I'm giving it 3.5. But either way, I really do love this book, and I do recommend you guys reading this. So yeah. And lastly, I read Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed this book immensely. It was hilarious. I think I've said it before, I really enjoyed watching the movie, but now that I've read this book, I just thought that movie was rubbish. The movie just messed up the whole plot. I can't believe it. It's so different. Yeah, I did enjoy this book, and I am so happy that I read this book. That is it for me, guys. I just wanted to remind you as well, if you don't know, that I've been filming every day since the 1st of December, and I'm continuing to film till the 25th of December. And basically it's my book advent calendar, where I pick books from my TBR list and introduce one book every day. And this is to reduce my TBR pile because I have loads, and it's so nice to just introduce a book every day to you guys. And if you want to see the pictures of the books that I've picked already, they are on my Instagram and Twitter, so if you want to check that out, it's in the links are in the description box below. And yeah, please give this a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe and comment down below, and I shall see you guys soon. Bye bye.